power had been with you all along. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Trey Michael, and this, oh yes, this is another segment of Applied Consciousness. I was driving around, taking my daughter to school, and I asked the universe to never let something go in me. I know the pain. I know the suffering that goes on in the lower frequencies. And I noticed that my life has changed. It's changed a lot. And I asked the universe to never let me forget the pain that my fellow brothers and sisters are experiencing on planet Earth. I asked the universe, God, Source, Creator, to never let me forget. Because the second that I forget the pain, I want to tell y'all a story. And then I'm going to get back to my point. I was 17 years old, heading to prison, or 18 when I got there. And there was 4 people. I was the 4th one. I slept on the top bunk in prison. The man at the bottom bunk. And then there was 2 gentlemen to the left of me. One bottom, one top. Now in prison, people don't usually ask, what are you in here for? Or how much time do you have? Those are conversations that occur with people that you build a bond with. But for some strange reason, I guess the universe wanted me to hear. It wanted me to hear how blessed I was. The gentlemen all roll off the bed, and one guy just says, hey, what are you in here for? He doesn't ask it to me. He asks the question to the man on the bottom bunk. And the man says, I'm in here for robbery. And he just discloses to him his time. And he tells the guy he has a 40-year sentence on an 18-year setup. And, you know, I rise up from my bed and I notice he starts to get his white papers. The white papers are proof of what I'm in here for. And he reads it off, and the guy looks at it and he swaps it over to him as well. And he says, I'm in here also with 25 years on a 15-year setup. The setups mean you have to do that much time. On the 40-year, do 20 or 18. You have to do at least 18 to 20 years before you're even eligible for parole. And that doesn't mean that you get the parole. And then the gentleman above, the guy to the left of me, the one that was on the top bunk like I was, he literally had 800 years. Now, I know this sounds non-logical. It sounds unfair. And I say unfair because none of those people killed anyone. No one was harmed. I actually got to see their papers. It's just some of the time that they do to some human beings that made mistakes as children. Bad mistakes, and yes, we should pay for our crimes, but 800 years. I too was on that bed, but I lied about my time because I only had 10 years and I had to do 2.5. And when I heard all the times and I read the papers, I heard the universe tell me, you owe me. And I didn't understand what it meant by owe me. It was letting me know that you too, Trey. I love those brothers just as much as I love you. But you too could have spent the majority of your natural life behind those bars as well. And the reason that I tell you that story is because now that I sit back and my life is going well, I owe humanity. See, I'm allowed to let my gray hairs grow out here in freedom, out here. And I've watched so many people make it from the bottom, and they rise up in consciousness just to only serve themselves. And I ask the universe to make this be a splinter that sits in the depthness of my heart. Because without that pain, without that remembrance of that pain, it's impossible for you to create your personal legend, your legacy of helping people. Because I'm starting to notice that the further that you go up, it's less of the pain there. And it's easy for the mind to forget the pain of the past. So many people want to let go of that pain, but I look at it like jet fuel. It's what helps me to skyrocket out. This is one of the reasons why I make videos about being targeted, because I know the pain that those people are experiencing. I hear them say that it's been going on for 10 and 15 and 20 years, and mine's only lasted 3. And I cannot and I will not let go of that experience, because it was my experience. And I know that I experienced that for a reason. And that reason was for me to level up above it so that I can give the keys back down, throw the rope back down for those that did not make it. If you are a person that can remember more pain and suffering than you're experiencing now, just remember there are people that are still there. For God's sake, you found the road out. You found the way out. It is your job to give them the keys, write the map for them to get out. There's a saying that I stick with, and it's each one, teach one. You can't teach if it's something that you haven't experienced. Teach what you have experienced. There are people out here that say, I don't want to talk or think about my being raped because it's traumatizing to me. And now I'm not traumatized by it anymore, so I'd rather not speak on it. I've never been raped. I don't know the experience, but I do know this. If you survive the experience, how dare you not go back to help others that have not overcame that experience? There are some of you that have been incarcerated, imprisoned, and you walk around every day knowing that you have a great 9-to-5 now, and you changed your routes. You changed the way that you walk. You changed the way that you talk. Society accepts you now. But you look out in the field. You look out on the streets. You look out in traffic. You look out at the store, and you see young men or young women following the same path that you took. And I'm not saying it's up to you to stop them. It's their free will. It's their choice. But for God's sake, would you not plant a seed inside of that brother or sister? Maybe they'll take a detour and not have to go through the experiences that we went through. Maybe they can teach a new lesson, but not the one that you already have learned. You be the teacher of that lesson so that the other kids don't have to learn it by themselves, that the other young men don't have to learn it by themselves. Sometimes we hold our experiences. We try to forget those experiences. But those experiences are what made you what you are now. No, I don't regret my experiences. I might have regretted the things that I've done to harm other people, but not the experience. Because how can a man that's lived a righteous life his entire existence be able to speak the lingo or the language of those that have lived an evil life? See, all things are one. You can't run a vehicle without positive and negative electricity. But so badly do we want to get rid of the negative and hold on to the positive, but then you have no power. You and I, if we are going to shift this reality to a fifth dimensional reality, you and I, we have to share our experiences. This is what I've been doing for the last almost 2 years now on Applied Consciousness. I even had to decide to go put it on a podcast platform because I will achieve my legacy. And my legacy will be what I passed on to humanity after I'm gone. And I just wanted to say to you, when you understand that thorn of pain, that remembrance of the pain of your past is your blessing, then you'll just say, whoa, the power had been with me all along. Peace.